Hi everybody! So happy to be here today with you. I decided I wanted to go live and share with you this fun Nourish and Flourish kit. This kit comes with everything that you need to create 9 cards, 3 in these 3 different designs. And it also comes with this fun lunch bag. And what I've done is I've taken the contents of these kits, or this kit, and I've created some alternative cards. This is one of the original cards. Just wanted to give you a close-up of that. It's got some really beautiful embossing on the background, and then these stickers just make the cards super easy to put together. And just so you know, I'm going live on both my Instagram and my YouTube channels. Or not my YouTube, sorry, my Instagram and Facebook channels, and then I will do the replay and upload that to YouTube. So if you're joining me today, you can go ahead and leave a message. Let me pull out my laptop and open up those lives so that I can see if any messages come in and I can comment. So just give me a quick minute and then we'll get to these fun alternative cards. So if you're joining us, go ahead and say hello. It's really fun to see who is here with me. All right, so it looks like my Facebook is working. Let's check Instagram. I don't know if I can see that. I might only be able to see that on my screen. We'll see. Yeah. So it looks like I can't see that right now. So I can see on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook and you're going to leave a comment, I can see those comments. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Let's see if there's any Instagram comments really quick. I can see that a bunch of you have jumped on. Hello to everybody. I have to stop doing what I'm doing on Instagram, but there's lots of people watching, so hello. And again, we are working with the Nourish and Flourish kit from Stampin Up. So here are some of the fun alternatives that I came up with this kit. So let's just look at the original, and then I've got these 2 alternatives. This one's got a fun diagonal design, and we're using the envelopes that come in the kit for these solid shapes. Then with this design, I created these 2 cards, and then with this one, I created these 2. So let's go ahead and get started. You're going to definitely need your paper trimmer. So the very first thing that I do whenever I'm creating alternatives with a kit is I cut my pieces apart. So I'm going to first start with my envelopes, and I'm going to open up my envelopes and trim off the sides. That's how I do this. And then I get a nice big piece of designer paper or whatever the envelope looks like. And I usually will use both sides. So go ahead and put that to the side and we'll get the next color. So the colors that coordinate with this kit are Calypso Coral, Daffodil Delight, Old Olive, Petal Pink, Pool Party, and Shaded Spruce. So we had the Petal Pink and, oh, I've got lots of notifications, sorry. Let me quiet those. All right, so we've got the Petal Pink, and I would say maybe Pool Party is this blue color here. And then we have a Shaded Spruce envelope as well. So if you're joining me, I just want to say hello to you. Thank you so much for joining me live. I am live on my Facebook and Instagram account. And then this will be uploaded to Facebook. All right, so we've got our envelopes cut, and now we can go and cut up our card bases. So you're going to start, you're going to just cut right down the center on those card bases, and that should be right at 4 1/4 inches. There's 1. 2, and then 3. All right, so if you don't already have this kit, I think it is such a great kit, and it's going to be perfect for the beginning of the year where you're going to need to replenish your stash of cards for all different occasions. All right, so for this one, we're going to cut this one, and you can see I didn't put them on card bases yet. So the full size is 4 1/4, so they're going to fit nicely on any color card base that I want. I would either choose something that coordinates with the color, or I would put it on some basic white card bases. So I'm going to first cut, let's do this pattern first. So I'm just going to measure really quick. I cut this at 1 3/4. So this pattern is the one that I'm using right now. And it's got the floral embossing, and it's just so pretty. I really love this beautiful pattern here. And I'm going to cut it at 1 3/4 inches. The long way. And that's going to give me 2 pieces, and we're going to use both of these pieces to create our card front. Okay, so this one has the smaller piece at the bottom, and then this one is the larger piece on the right side. So what we're going to do next is we are going to take, I think it's the Pool Party envelope, and we're going to cut it to fit. So we cut 1 3/4, so that this first piece maybe should be about 2 inches so that it covers the gap. And then this piece here should just be a little bit bigger. So let's just think for a minute. So 4 1/4, and we cut off 1 3/4. So let's just go a little bigger. Maybe I did that too big. It's okay. Let's just trim it right here at the fold, on that fold line. And then let's go ahead and cut this to 5 1/2 inches, which is the length of our card. All So since I'm not making these on card bases, you can just use your grid paper to line up to make sure that you have a full 4 1/4 inches. So I'm going to use this side here, and I'm going to line up to 4 1/4. And it is just barely, just slightly too small. So what I'm going to do is just slide it open and then use my sticker to hide that gap. Okay. All right, so the fun thing about this kit are there are die cuts here, and then there's also these fun stickers. Oh, let me pull those stickers out. So what I did for these cards is I used the scallop sticker, and then I also used this inside part to create this scallop on the bottom here. So we're going to use that to pull those two pieces together. So you're going to begin by just removing this piece. This is like the negative piece of that scallop. And you can just cut it off here at the edge, and then we'll trim it to fit. So let's take a quick look again. So the dark green side sits on the pool party side. So I'm just using my grid paper again. And you just line it up so that dark green is on the pool party. Okay, just like that. You can see that some of that sticker is still showing. And then I'm going to flip everything around and line up at 4 1/4. And then that's going to bring everything together so that, and hide that gap. There we go. Just like that. Isn't that so pretty? It's like the white is scalloped, and then we have that nice border of the evening evergreen. And if you have any overhang, you can take your pair of paper snips and just trim that to fit. All right, so that one's ready. Let's go ahead and measure this next one. So I think if I was to cut this the right way, I would cut this first piece at the same size. So that would be 1 3/4 inches, because this piece here is holding everything together. This scallop sticker piece, which I'm going to add. Let's see. I'm going to add it so that the blue part is on the white. And then again, use my grid paper to line up to 4 1/4. And you can see here that I've got that extra overhanging now because I cut it too large. You could cut it also at 1/8 of an inch larger if you wanted to, because there is a little bit of extra from in the envelope. But there we go. Just like that. Beautiful, so pretty. And then we can just decorate these how we want. I'm going to go ahead and move to cutting the other things, and then we'll come back and work on the decorations. So let's do this next one, which is, this is the original card, and then these are the cards that I made with those that card base and envelopes. So this one's pretty easy, and we're actually using the front and the back of the envelope for this one. So grab your paper trimmer. Let me just see if there's any comments. I see lots of people are watching. It's so fun to have you here. Thank you. We've got someone saying, so clever. I'm always amazed how you find uses for even the tiniest bits. Oh, I'm so glad you like that. It's a really great tip. You know, think a little differently about how those leftover pieces can fit in a different way. So we're going to take the Calypso core, or this is the Petal Pink envelope, and we're going to cut it at 4 1/4, and then we'll cut it to 5 1/2 inches. So we'll have a full card front here. And then we're going to take the back piece and we are going to cut this. Let's start at 4 1/4. So we want to make sure we trim off this extra flap right here. So go ahead and trim that right up to the edge there, because we want to get 4 1/4 inches. And then we're going to cut it to 2 3/4 inches, which is half of a card front. Okay, so we have that piece. Then we're going to take this quarter foil. Is that what that design's called? I'm never really sure what to call things. But that's the one. It's kind of got like a medallion look to it. And we're going to cut that in half at 2 3/4 inches. Okay, so we have 2 of the exact same size. And then we have a large, and then this one matches that size. So let's do this one first. This one uses the large and one of the small pieces along with this piece here. Now you're thinking, Chelsey, you only have one of these pieces, but I'm going to show you how you can hide it behind your elements. So what we're going to do is we are going to, let me just double check. I was going to say let's cut it in half, but before I cut it, I want to double check. So it's 4 1/4, and if we cut it in half at 2 inches, I think it might be a little too small. Well, no, because 1 inch on that side and about 1 1/4 on that side. So I think we'll be okay. So let's go ahead and cut this in half at, so it's 4 1/4. So we could do 1 at 2 inches and 1 at 2 1/4 inches. So let's do that. Okay, so it's not quite half. It's a little bit. So this piece is 2 inches and this one is 2 1/4. Okay, so we're going to take the larger piece and put that off to the side, and we'll cut this one so that we've got it in half at 2 pieces that are 1 inch wide. Okay. Then use your grid paper again. Maybe measure about 1 inch from the top, and you're going to line these up on each side of your pattern paper, your embossed paper here. Just like that. Okay. All right. Then we can take this and we'll add it to the center with some dimensionals. And the kit does come with dimensionals. Whoa. And that just goes right in the center. So just try to find even border all the way around. So fun. And these are just so quick and easy to make. So now we have these 2 pieces that are left over, and they are the same size. So we can just put them right together, and that's going to make a full card base. You can see here that it will go from the top to the bottom, but there's no overlapping. So let's go ahead. I'm going to flip this around. I'm going to go ahead and add these two together with that little strip that we have. So we got to cut this in half. So it was 2 1/4, so it's about 1 1/8. I bet we could get away with 1 inch on one side and 1 1/4 on the other. Let's see. So one piece is 1 inch long and the other piece is 1 1/4 inches. And we just put these two pieces together. Use our grid paper so that things are nice and straight. This is 1 inch, so we're going to put it at 1/2 inch on one side and 1/2 inch on the other side. Okay. Oh, now that I'm looking at it, this is the one we're doing, not this one. But I think we're still going to be fine. We can even slide things over or cover them up. That's the fun part about being creative, is you don't have to do the exact same thing every time. You can be creative and make it your own. It doesn't need to look like mine. These are just ideas on how you can get more from the kit. So if you were to follow my instructions, you could get 2 cards for every 1 card they have in the kit, and that would give you 6, 12, 18 cards from this 1 card kit. All right, so those are ready for our greetings and our decorations. So let's go ahead and put that off to this side, and we'll come back to that in just a minute. It's kind of easiest to get all the cutting done, and then we can do the decorating. So the last set we're going to do, it comes from this card base, and we're going to do a fun angled design. So we've got our embossed paper. This has got a fun like chevron look. And we're going to take our evening evergreen envelope and cut this to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'm trying to keep the pattern. So some of the paper has more like dots and things, and that's what I'm trying to keep. So if you see me flip the paper, that is why. So to get this fun angle, I'm going to actually take my 2 papers together, and I'm just going to place them into my paper trimmer and cut. So there's really no right or wrong here. I'm just going to cut them, and then you can match them. So this bottom piece goes with this top piece, and then this top piece goes with this bottom piece. Okay, so that's how you can get 2 from that. And then we've got, let's see. So we've got this angled piece here, or this pool party piece that we're going to cut in half, and I'm going to show you a fun way to use it right here to hold those 2 pieces together. So take your paper trimmer and you're going to line it up so that it's going to cut it right in the center of those 2 pieces. And then carefully lift that up. And let's work on the one with the green on the bottom, so then I don't get too confused as to what I am doing. Let's also make sure that when those 2 pieces come together, that they do make 5 1/2 inches, so that you're not getting one that's too small. And then you just take one piece and add it over that angle so that you're getting both of those pieces sticking together. And then you want to flip it so that that stitch line is going the same direction, and finish that off. So just like that. this area here is going to be covered with our greeting, and so we're just going to go ahead and trim now those edges. So you can flip it over and cut that off. Okay, so that one's done. So now we're going to do this one. Now we don't have any more of the stickers, so we're going to pretty much do the exact same thing, but I've just used a piece of the petal pink envelope. So you can take some of the envelope. This comes from the, this is the top, but this is the adhesive here, and I can just cut a piece. There's a little bit of a score line, so I'm going to trim that score line off first, probably at 1/4 of an inch. And then I'm going to make another, let's say 1/4 of an inch cut, and we'll use that piece to hold everything together. So you do want to make sure that you use some strong adhesive here, because you're holding those two pieces together and we don't have our, it's not on our card base yet. So let's see, I'm going to tear some of this off. This is my tear and tape, and I'm just going to add it right to the strip. They are about the same size, so you're going to want to make sure that they meet up really well so that you don't have any adhesive hanging off the edge when your card is together. And I like to work in small sections just so that I have more control over it. There we go. So now we've pretty much have just made our own little sticker there that we can use to put these two pieces together. So line those two pieces up and add your petal pink strip to the center to hold all those pieces together. And then you can trim off the excess on the sides. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and start adding some of our greetings and our flowers. And I'm going to start with this one since I've got it out already. So you may have noticed that I am using some greetings that are not in the kit. If you have this kit, you're probably asking, where have those come from? So let me share with you another fun tip. So the greetings in the kit come in both English and some other languages. And so what I've done is I've taken one sheet, and you can use your English for one set of cards. So this one is the just saying hello. And then you can use the other languages for another set of cards by just removing the label, and then you can stamp it with any greeting you want. And I decided to use some greetings from the Charming Sentiments stamp set. So they're so great. There's so many options here. I'm just going to stick with the ones that I have already done, if I can find them. This one says good luck. But for some reason I can't find it. So maybe we just do this one here. This one says beyond grateful. So you can really turn these cards into any occasion, whatever you might need to replenish your greeting card stash, especially as the end of the year is coming up. You might have to, you may need more birthday cards, or you might need some more thank you cards, and they really can be used for so many different occasions. Oh, and I missed my O there. Let's see if I can line it up. Try one more time. I wonder if I have something on my stamp. All right, well, I'm gonna probably stamp that again. Another great thing about these sets is you have plenty of tags. So I'm gonna get another one. And I'm gonna clean it just to make sure. All right, well, I wanted to stamp like that again. I'll need to look into that more later, but I think that works. So I've got my 2 greetings. Oh, and I just noticed we did add a little petal pink to this one as well. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that same strip and do another 1/4 of an inch. And because this piece isn't holding my papers together, I can use any type of adhesive. I think I might just use some glue dots. And that's just going to go at the bottom, just to add another touch of color. That's the fun part. So let's start with the greeting with some dimensionals. And you can put that in the center or off to the side, however you want. Same, this one we're going to actually add with some, hold up. I've got this cute little pool party flag that I created, and I did that with the leftover pool party. So that's this piece here. This is the back of an envelope, and I think that might be just 2 inches. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's about 2 inches. So I'm just going to start by trimming off, and then I can measure 2 inches. And then just cut it straight at the bottom. Then you can take your paper trimmer, if this is easier for you, and measure 1 inch on both sides, and then cut up just a little bit, maybe a 1/2 inch or so. And then you can create a banner by going from the corner to the top of that slit. And it's just perfect. I must have some adhesive on those scissors that are making that paper stick. And then we can add this paper, our greeting, to our banner. And the kit does come with glue dots, so that you can use glue dots as your adhesive if you want. And then we can add this with dimensionals to the card. Here we go. Right there in the center. And then you can quickly add your flowers. So these are fun die cuts, and depending on what type of adhesive you want to use, you can either use glue dots, or I'm using the Stampin' Seal Plus. I really love that adhesive. You can use dimensionals if you want to have some dimension and pop I'm just pulling out all of the little pieces that I've used. So let's do this one first. So this one I've got the 2 leaves and I wanted to separate them. So I just am going to take my pair of paper snips and go ahead and cut one from the other, and you may have to just do a little fussy cutting to make the edges smooth. And then add some adhesive to all pieces. And then you can start to add them. I always like to add my flowers first, and then you can tuck your leaves in and around. And you can get something like this. So pretty. So I just see a question from Danielle. She says, which kit is this? And this is called the Nourish and Flourish kit. It also comes with this really cute lunch bag, and it's so big. You can definitely fit a ton of things in there. And if you don't use lunch bags, you could use it as just a container to hold cards or any other craft supplies that you have. It's a great bag. It's nice and big. The kit also comes with these cute embellishments, which you can also add onto your cards. So let's do this one next. This one I've used a bunch of these cute tulip type flowers. So I'm going to go ahead and I've used 3 of them here on this card. Just going to pop them all out if I can. One thing I love about kits is that you can make the cards as is. They're always super cute. Or you can, make your own alternatives like I am here. I'm going to hold off to that one. I don't think I used that one. So I've got these 3 here. And I'm just going to pop them on with some adhesive. These ones here, I did add some dimensionals. So I'm just going to put adhesive on the stems. And then I love using my border pieces for small sections. And I've got that on this big one here. So we'll add this one first. This is the larger of the 3. I'm going to tuck it underneath with maybe a little bit showing on the right. Oh, you know what? I just realized that I have that upside down, don't I? Let's see if I can take that apart. Doesn't really matter. Now we'll see if we can do the greeting. The nice thing is if I tear it at all, I can just cover it back up with the greeting. Yeah, it's not coming off super easily. There we go. All right, flip-flop. I'm gonna add another piece of a dimensional right there. Looks like it's gonna have to go in the center a little bit more than my other one, just to cover up where I had placed it. Okay, back to creating this cute card. I'm going to switch it up just a little bit. I'm going to cut this one off so that I can tuck it underneath a little bit more than I could because of the it was, what am I trying to say? It was a little bit too, like there's a dimensional that's a little too close, so I couldn't tuck it in all the way. So I just trimmed it off, but I'm going to hide some of that by tucking this one in underneath it. So those two like that. And then we'll do a second one. Like that. Super cute. And that could even work. Like, you don't even need to add this other one here if you don't want to. But for that one, I used these little tiny pieces here, and as like a stem, a little glue dot probably would be better than my Stampin' Seal Plus. So just use that as like a little stem right there, and then took one of the small pink flowers and added it there on top. Okay. So it's going to look something like that. So those two cards come together super quick. All right, let's go to the next set. So we're working our way backwards. So we've got these two cards that we're going to make. Let's start with this one. This one I'm using that Beyond Grateful. Looks like I have a similar issue with the O. And I've used another green color. So this green is the Old Olive. So let me go grab that. So I've cleaned off my stamp, and I'm going to grab this French label, and if I flip it over, then I can stamp my Beyond Grateful in the center. There we go. We can pop that on with some dimensionals. And you can see that it covers up that gap nicely. So it's going to be a little off center. That's okay. If you want it centered, then you would cut those evenly. But I didn't. I did 1 inch on one side and 1 1/4 on the other. And then you can take your flowers. So I've got kind of a medium, or I guess this is the small size of the pink, a small blue, this larger Calypso coral color, and then some of these lighter greens. And I think I cut this one apart here like I did before, and same with this one, cut those apart. So I got this little tiny guy here that I'm going to use. Put that other one off to the side, and then cut these apart here. Just because they come one way doesn't mean that we have to use them that way. And then just start adding some adhesive. Start with the flowers, and then you can tuck in the leaves in and around. Those two are small enough. I'm going to use a glue dot. So start with your flowers near the bottom, and then you can tuck in your leaves. This one I'm going to put underneath the label, and then these two other ones I'm going to stick between, oh, that's upside down, between some flowers. like that. Super cute card. Very simple, quick and easy to put together. So this one is another one that I've used just a stamp for. So there's this great square, and again, just flip it over. You could use the English version too. So the English one is, maybe I use that one for this card. So this one says, I'm just so lucky to know you. We're going to pop that up with dimensionals too. And that just goes right in the center. And then we're going to create, oh, that's crooked. Let's try that again. And then we're going to create a little grouping of flowers here in the bottom left corner. So take one of the yellow flowers, and we're going to take this tulip flower that we already punched, and one of the large pink flowers, and this large dark green, and then this grouping right here. And again, none of these have dimensionals. They're just popped on with some adhesive. I'm going to start with the large one, and then the yellow one. Tuck in the flower leaves. Put a leaf maybe in the back on the card base, and then this one can go up a little higher. There you go. And again, don't forget to add some fun pearls in and around the card. So those come together super quick, especially if we're not doing any stamping. That's really fast. And then our last set of cards, I again did a lot of stamping. You can see those beautiful sentiments, and the stamp set that I used, because this set actually doesn't come with the stamp set, but I did use the Charming Sentiments greetings for the back of the tags. So the greetings that come in English are, I appreciate you more than you know, and then we did the I'm so lucky to know you, and then we also have the just saying hello. So those are the greetings that you can get in this kit, but if you want to change them up to something else, then you can flip them over and you can stamp any greeting you want on the back. So let's do, this one's a little complicated, so we're going to do that one last. We're going to go ahead and do this one first. And just to make things a little faster, I'm going to just use the printed greeting. So a couple of dimensionals on the back of the label. And just stick that right near the top in the center. Okay, and then use some of those leftover pieces. I've got one of the large flowers and large leaf, and these I did pop up with dimensionals. Probably I'm going to just use an edge piece there. And if you have the space, it can overlap the label, or if you don't, it can go underneath. Okay, so a little different there than the original one, but super cute. Okay, so for this fun one, I wanted to do something a little different and really fill it up with flowers, but I don't have a ton of flowers left. And so I'm going to show you how you can get more from a small amount. Maybe some of you have already figured it out, but you're going to take your your images and you can just cut them right in half. And now you have two pieces. So when you add adhesive to the backs, you can pop them right onto this line, just like this. And it looks like you have two flowers rather than just one. So that's what we're going to do. So for this one, I actually got 3 flowers out of it. So first you're going to cut it in half. And we're going to use the half. And that's just going to sit right by this yellow one. And then we're going to cut it in half again. And then we can use that and tuck it underneath something. So like this one right here, we can kind of tuck it underneath. And if you have any openings, you can use like a pearl or something to hide any little areas that might poke through. So like this little section right there. And then over here, we can add this one here. So you want to use some adhesive that isn't going to be a problem if you need to lift and pull things up. Okay, look how fun that is. Right? What a great idea. So then we've got our label, and I'm going to just use again the pre-printed label here. And I'm going to add that here between the flowers. And then I can tuck in a couple leaves. So I've got that one and these ones, and then I have one more flower left, and I actually have one tiny leaf left over from that other one where we only used half of it. So add a little adhesive to the backs, tuck in any adhesive on the sides if it's poking out, and then you can tuck these in. So this one I'm going to place over here, and then I've got my double leaf. This is the tiny shaded spruce I'm going to place right there. This is a nice big, it's a good place to kind of fill in some hole right there. And then this one is the last one that we're going to cut in half. Let's see. It might be, again, best to use glue dots for tiny little things, but sometimes you're just wanting to be a little bit faster. So tuck those underneath where they won't be seen and on the sides. Okay, just like that. So easy. Such a great way to really maximize your supplies in the kits. So now that you have your card fronts, it's very easy to add these to card bases. I like to use thick basic white cardstock, and you just cut a 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock in half at 5.5 inches, and then score at 4.25 inches. Fold it along that score line. I like to use a bone folder to make a nice crease, and then you can add your card front, whoop, carefully. This is very sticky adhesive, to that card base. And it's going to go from edge to edge, so there will not be a border. And you can do that with all of your cards. So fun. Don't forget about these little pearls. These kind of have like a champagne petal pink look to them. And you can add these anywhere on your cards. And they just add that little extra pop. All right, guys, so fun. So if you were to follow these cards and you were to make all of the original cards using this kit, you could have 18 beautiful cards. If you just created the original cards, you're going to have a total of, I think it is 9. There are 3 and 3 different designs. So here's one of the originals. Let's see, where's the other ones? Here is the other original, and here is the last. They're all so beautiful. It will be hard to decide what to do with all of that beautiful product in your kit. And again, this comes from the Nourish and Flourish card kit. Well, I hope you guys really enjoyed spending a little bit of time with me today as we created some fun cards from this kit. If you have any questions, you can always comment or contact me through direct message. I am happy to help you with any of your paper crafting needs. And I hope you guys have a creative day. Thanks for watching. Bye.